Maisie Williams went from starring in Game of Thrones as a young girl to now being a 27-year-old Hollywood star. But she didn't get to where she is today easily. After years of working through childhood star traumas, Maisie admits to now being finally comfortable in her own skin.
Ever since I can remember, I've really struggled sleeping. And I think a lot of the traumatic things that were happening, I didn't realize that they were wrong. And so when that sort of period of my life ended, I imagined that everything is just up from here, everything's perfect now.
Maisie told the Sunday Times, "I was so lost for so long, and I knew that I was. And when I couldn't pin down what I felt my identity was within that, it brought me a lot of discomfort. It's hard to even put myself back there and talk about how tough it was, just because I think it's done." The young actress admitted that acting can be really rewarding, but it can be hard to form an identity outside of acting, especially when it's during a formative time in your life. When speaking about those teenage years, she said, "It was at its absolute worst when I also was the most out of touch with myself." Not knowing your identity and that kind of thing. I think rejection at that point felt so personal, so painful. I'd solely compare myself to other actresses and the way people looked, and all of the most destructive ways that you can compare yourself, she continued. Now starring in The New Look, Maisie plays Catherine Dior, the sister of Christian Dior. The Apple TV Plus drama is about how Christian Dior, Coco Chanel, Pierre Balmain, and Cristobal Balenciaga launched modern fashion while navigating the horrors of World War II. For this role, Maisie completely transformed her look to reflect a prisoner returning from the war. To master her role, she lost a significant amount of weight, shaved her head, and began a demanding routine overseen by medical professionals.
It's we sort of launch in the 1940s, where Coco Chanel is the grande dame of fashion, and there's this new designer on the rise, and he's called Christian Dior. It's kind of crazy, this show, these names that we know so well, but we start to really dive into the human story behind it. I play Catherine Dior, which is Christian Dior's younger sister.
When speaking to Elle about the intense work, she said, "I spent a lot of time meditating while shooting, and so a lot of this mental strain, I know it was definitely there, but I think I just let it pass over me. I didn't hold on to it so much. I let go a lot of my responsibilities in my own life in preparation. I came away from all my friends and my family and from my phone. I don't think I looked at my phone for over a month, which is so nice. It was a really special time, and I'm very fortunate that I have amazing friends and family that are so understanding of things like that. Doing that meant there was a lot of my own personal life matters that weren't causing me stress or any additional stress. It can get complicated when you're trying to be in too many places at once. Limiting that and just being in Paris in the 1940s was nice."
Well, yeah, so when I was making this show, I spent a lot of time alone. A lot of time, just because the nature of the character, it's quite a just quite a journey. So I do speak a little French, but really the only French I got to use out there was "Est-ce que je peux avoir une table pour une personne, s'il vous plaît?" which is...
From starring as Arya Stark for a decade in Game of Thrones and growing up on set, Maisie has truly transformed from a young girl to a Hollywood star. Maisie has even become one of the youngest Emmy nominees ever, and is truly a household name.